Well, yesterday was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and we, of course, were preempted by coverage of the inaugural activity up in Washington, but we don't want to pass the day without acknowledging it. Dr. King was the mainstay of the civil rights movement, and we have many, many people here in Mississippi that had more than just a passing interest in that movement. And we got a chance to speak to the youngest freedom rider from back in the day. Back in the 1960s, 13-year-old Hezekiah Watkins went to the bus station in downtown Jackson to watch the Freedom Riders arrive when he suddenly found himself right in the middle of it.
This was in 1960, but in 61 is when I got involved, and I was 13 at that time.
Tell me about that. How did you get involved in the movement?
Well, believe it or not, the TV. I watched the news, the national news, every day. And the Freedom Rider was in Alabama, but I had no clue of what they was doing. I just saw individuals being beaten, women's being drugged from point A to point B, fire hydrants being watered down, and that was my first time seeing this type of news. But one day, my friend came to my house and said, "I got good news, man. I got good news." And he began singing, "The Freedom Riders coming to Jackson. The Freedom Riders coming to Jackson. They coming to Jackson. The Freedom Riders coming to Jackson." And I stopped her. I said, "Hold up, man. What Jackson are you talking about?" He said, "I'm talking about this Jackson." "This Jackson here?" He said, "This Jackson here." "Well, when, man? We got to go. We got to go. Because now they are our heroes and sheroes. And we need to go and just say, hey, hi. If we got close enough, we were going to shake her hand." And then my friend said, "Well, man, you 13. Your mother not going to let you go." And I replied, "You 13 as well, and your mother not going to let you go. What we going to do?" I said, "I don't know, but whatever it is, I'm going to the bus station." So we chose to leave church and go to the bus station, and not knowing anything about a steam operation going on, the police officers knew they was coming in on a bus, a Greyhound bus. And they knew once they came in, they was going to be arrested, but they had not made it. So we being 13-year-olds, we out playing up and down the sidewalk, trying to peep in the bus station to see what we could see, and that was nothing. And as we was walking down the sidewalk, my friend was able to open the door and push me inside. Now, to be honest with you, the push was not a hard push. I think I could have prevented him. I could have prevented myself from going as far as I did. But I wanted to be in the Greyhound bus station. I wanted to see what was the noise all about, why blacks can't go in here. You had to go to the back. And I'm just looking around and didn't see anything that was out of the ordinary until I looked up and I saw a sign that said whites only, and that rung a bell. And I said, well, I need to get out of here. So I'm trying to slide over to the door, but before I could exit the bus station, this officer hit me on my shoulder and asked me, "Why are you in here?" And I politely told him, "My friend out there pushed me in here." He said, "What friend?" I said, "He's out there, officer." So he caught me by my wrist, pulled me on the outside and said, "Where?" I looked left, I looked right. My friend was nowhere to be found. So he took me back inside, and I was asked two questions. your name and your birthplace. Gave him my name and my birthplace, but when I gave the birthplace, he automatically, I'm assuming, automatically took me for a freedom rider. And I was arrested and I was taken to Parchman Prison and put on death row.
How long were you there in Parchman?
For 13 days.
So, I hate to even ask, but how were you treated in Parchman?
Well, I was treated unfairly. That's a good word, yeah.
Okay.
Unfairly. Food was taken, beaten, you name it. All of those things happened to me. You might have heard this old saying about jail or Parchman or whatever educate you. Well, it's true. It does. You get educated. Not the right type of education you want, but you get educated right off the bat. And you have to try and remember everything that you are taught and everything that you've shown. You try to make it stick.
So what did you do when you got out? Did you then become a member of the movement, or just try to go back home and make your way through life, or what?
Well, when I got out, my mother beat the bricks off me.
Well, this is part one with our interview with Hezekiah Watkins. Tune in tomorrow during the Daily Sip to see part two.